I don't even know, man.
It's Sunday. My brain is fried.
Mine too.
Try not to be fried. Gotta focus.
Focus.
Game time. Game time.
Unique New York. Unique New York.
Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow?
Robot noises.
Alright, that was a little excessive.
Thank you. I tried my best.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, what did you see the guy who dropped glitter on his balls?
Oh no!
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Knee slapper there.
Welcome back to the Punk Rock Horror Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Cody.
And today, we're here to remind you to wear loose clothes and keep deodorant on this summer. We're all going to get stinky, but just use your deodorant. That's all you got to do.
What's deodorant?
I don't know.
What are you trying to say here, Matt?
You know, the first time I was introduced into deodorant was when I was in 5th grade during, health class.
Yeah.
And they gave us a bunch of Old Spice. And the Old Spice burned my armpit, so I never used Old Spice since then.
I think my mom just threw deodorant at me. It was like, you fucking stink. Here, put this on.
Well, it just, it literally burned my skin. I don't know why it did. But I was like, deodorant's awful.
Because they weren't giving you deodorant.
They were giving me...
Lie.
It was lie, yeah.
Here's some lie. You're going to...
And here's Matt, this fucking weirdo of a kid.
Why, teacher?
I don't know. Where I went to school, I wouldn't doubt that. I had a lot of interesting teachers when it came to their teaching methods.
Yeah.
I colored my hand green completely once, and they got so pissed off they put me in the hallway. I'm serious.
You're like, I have a Hulk hand now. Matt, hallway.
Well, it's not like we weren't doing anything during class. We were just watching Lilo and Stitch.
So you colored your hand green.
I was getting, again, ADHD at its peak,
I know,
man.
I'm just saying, I don't understand. If it was in the middle of a lesson, I would understand.
It wasn't. I think it was
in the middle of a movie.
It might have been on the tail end of a lesson, but it's the tail end, and we're just about to watch Lilo and Stitch, and I'm like, well, fuck school.
I'm a rebel.
I'm gonna do drugs now.
Sadly, that's how some people go.
No, I actually didn't go that route, but still.
I know you did. We'd be having a complete different conversation if that was the route that you went.
Yeah. And this is the only podcast where love horror movies meets the culture of punk rock.
Yep. By giving yourself Hulk hands.
Hulk smash! Hulk hands! Here it is, the hulkiest Hulk thing around. So some things to go over and talk about. Well, one thing, really. So, big news, everyone. First off, June was, talk about a month packed of content.
Yeah.
Talk about a good Ghouls and Gals month. Thank you.
Speaking of Ghouls and Gals and content, I do have a correction I need to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, James actually, corrected me from the episode where I said that Nosferatu is by Stephen King when I was praising the show.
Yeah.
And it is not. Nosferatu is actually is a book written by Joe Hill, who's actually Stephen King's son. So at least I had the family right.
You know, James is wrong.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Thanks, James. I do appreciate
I also have to make...
fix.
Now that we're talking about it, I have to make a correction, too.
Uh-huh.
So when I was talking about frailty, I made the mistake thinking that Bill Paxton was in Field and Dreams. And that's Dennis Quaid.
Oh, Dennis Quaid, yeah.
Yeah, it's Dennis Quaid. So that's my bad, man. So
okay.
I don't know why, but I really do confuse the two of them a lot. Or no, it's Kevin Costner, not Dennis Quaid.
It's not
Kevin Costner.
I almost said Kurt
Kevin
Russell.
Costner, Dennis Quaid, and Bill Paxton are all the same person to me for some reason.
See, for me, it's Dennis Quaid, Kevin Costner, and
do it. You can do it.
Oh my god,
You
I
can do
just said his fucking name. Roadhouse.
Kurt
Russell. Yeah, I always get Kurt Russell and Kevin Costner mixed up.
They all kind of just start to mold together, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, it's Patrick Swayze.
Or Patrick Swayze. God damn it, those three. Kurt Russell, Patrick Swayze, and
Dennis Quaid,
Bill
I always
kind of mix up. I never get Bill Paxton mixed up with
That's the Expendables movie we need. The Expendables for, like, all suburban dads. Like, there's going to be a moment with that movie where they all give an inspirational, like, pick yourself up moment. Yeah. It was like, in that field, that's where we find our dreams. Right, Bill? Funny? You're right, Kevin.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is all of them except for Patrick Swayze could totally possibly be the bad guy too.
Right.
Because they've all played bad guys or done the bait and switch at it.
I don't think Kevin Costner has.
Kevin Costner's bad. Yeah.
When what?
Guardians.
Never seen it.
Guardians Volume 2.
That's not Kevin Costner, dude.
Yeah, dude.
No, it's
not. Oh my god. Kurt Russell. Jesus
See,
Christ,
it's
man.
that easy to make that mistake.
God damn. Again, they all fucking mold together, alright? Jesus Christ. Like, I like them all as actors, but fuck, man.
Like, if anything,
maybe
it would
if they all didn't play the same fucking character all the goddamn time.
Like, if anything, Kurt Russell is the villain, because he's done more villain roles out of all of them.
That's true.
Like, that is just the straight-up truth of the situation right now.
God, my brain just does not want to work for those guys.
No, I feel you, man. Well, because Kurt Russell does a really good, like, dick, villain, like, kind of thing, like, roles. He's just good at that.
Yeah, like Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
First day that I was like, man, I swear to God,
Proof.
that's not Patrick Swayze in Hateful Eight. That is Kurt Russell. I know that's Kurt Russell.
You got that
one right. I swear to
right.
fucking God.
You got the one.
I was gonna, like, lose my shit.
But, no, June was talk about a packed month. Thank you to all your ghouls and gals for going along that ride. We came out with a lot of content. We came out with...
I got a bunch of... And I also got a bunch of new listeners for our interview.
Nice.
Like, a lot of them were like, yeah, they mostly tuned in just for the interview, but it was pretty great.
Yeah, but still, I mean, we have a lot of people reaching out to us. It's never ending here on the punkrockhorrorpodcast. There's, the team's growing, which kind of to announce some big news. Yep. So we've been kind of working in the background for this now, working on this, but we're adding a new addition to the Punk Rock Horror Podcast family. I know, right? It's like
Oh my god, it's like we're fucking like rabbits.
I know, right? So you obviously know of her now if you've been listening to the show for a while. If not, you're going to find out about her soon. So Erin Mad Pooper McGarry has been working really close with us, and she's actually going to be having her own show now.
What?
Part of the Punk Rock Horror Podcast family. This is going to be a show available to everyone. You don't have to be on our Patreon for this one. But she's going to be coming out with her own show where she's going to be talking about her own experiences with the paranormal, and she's going to be discussing her own subjects on that and giving her input on a lot of urban legends. And it's awesome. It's called the Paranormal Princess Podcast. It's going to be coming out the tail end of July here. So congratulations and welcome to the Punk Rock Horror Podcast family, Erin. She officially
part of the family.
I know you had to put in some time as a guest, and
she's been here from the beginning. So.
see, that's how you get a show on our network here. Is you have to be part of this for like at least a year and a half.
Yep. We have to grow to love you.
Our probationary period is really extensive. We only want to make sure the most high quality hosts are on our show.
Yeah, I think Lala's the only one who superseded all that.
She took initiative.
Yes, she did.
I
was gonna say, because Anna, I've known Anna since she was born, so she had 18 years of fucking probationary period.
So she gets an excuse, but Erin, I know. So Erin's part of the family now. We are now the Justice League of Horror here.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of exciting things planned. We're excited for her show to come out. And where you can catch her show is just staying subscribed to us. And it'll come out so we'll keep you updated as the day it comes out and everything. But again, Erin, welcome to the PRHP family, and ghouls and gals, stay tuned for her show. But today though, we're talking about foreign horror movies being remade by America.
Because it's America Week, Freedom Week.
Free America Week.
Freedom
it is
Day.
the week of 4th of July,
Freedom Day,
Independence Day. And what way to celebrate Independence Day by taking things from others?
I think you're gonna make it that way.
It was perfect. So,
I know. Even
so
though
it's ours now.
I was saying, even though like this was totally my idea of doing, I was like, oh my god, seeing as how the 4th of July is going to come up and that's going to be our release week is during the week of the 4th, we should do American remakes. And you're like, haha, that's a great idea. And I realized I was like, oh my god, it's just like how we got America. We saw something we liked and we just kind of made it to our image instead.
So it's a tongue-in-cheek like motivation behind the theme, but hey, it's on the nose, it's funny, but without getting too quote-unquote liberal about it. Let's go ahead and jump into things that are happening in horror this week. So, first thing is the MPAA came out with their rating system for Ari Aster's Midsommar, which is due to come out here on the
3rd.
July 3rd. And it's said to have disturbing ritualistic violence, grisly images, strong sexual content, graphic nudity, drug use, and language. And
that means there's a lot of sex.
Oh, yeah, and drugs. Drugs and sex and drugs. Jordan Peele came out saying that he raved about the movie, saying it's atrociously disturbing imagery. And the reason we're talking about this is because I want to give credit to the studio behind it, A24.
Yeah.
It's probably one of those few studios that has a really good track record with their movies. Every time they come out with something, it's always pretty solid, and I'm really excited for this movie. I can't wait.
This year, fucking horror movies are good.
Oh, it's not even just this year. It was last year.
Yeah,
too,
there's a nice renaissance of horror movies. It's super nice. Midsommar. We talked about Crawl.
I can't wait for I want to see Crawl.
I'm so excited for that movie, dude. Just the
it's a new creature feature. I'm
excited for that, and it's not sharks, which is super nice.
Yeah.
The only thing is I'm excited for the movie, but I almost feel like the trailers are kind of starting to ruin it for me in a sense. Like, I like the song that they're doing, the whole like do 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 do.
Yeah.
That's great. But like to me, I almost feel like the trailers are almost giving away too much.
I hope not, man.
Me too.
It's Sam Raimi, so you gotta assume that we gotta just.
There's gonna be a lot more ridiculous tongue-in-cheek stuff with crocodiles,
right?
But...
Like actually, Ash is gonna kick down the door and chainsaw an alligator or crocodile in half.
He's just gonna kick it over and go groovy. Yeah. But
hey, ugly, get a fistful of this, blam.
But no, I'm really excited for that. Child's Play was really good. Speaking of remakes.
Yeah.
It was actually surprisingly good.
I still have to see it.
It's good. I recommend. If you haven't seen Child's Play, I don't know if I've said it already on here, but go see it.
You have not.
No. Oh yeah, that's right, because we recorded episode 2 first.
Yeah.
So yeah, go see Child's Play. It's actually done really well, and how they do their how they incorporate the AI is fantastic.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I was surprisingly pleased with this movie because if you guys remember way back when it was first announced, I was shitting on it so hard.
And I'm just glad it's bloody.
Yeah, it is really. It's good bloody.
There's
just one scene with a lawnmower, man. It's the greatest fucking thing ever. I laughed so hard. It has the right amount of tongue in cheek in it too, which I like.
Wait.
So
I can't wait.
Yep. So yeah, but yeah.
So, other things going on. So, Alamo Draft House is going to be celebrating Stephen King all summer with a king-sized summer event. They're going to be including the re-release of Creepshow, Maximum Overdrive, Running Man, and Stand By Me, which is all starting in August, along with select screenings of additional classics such as Carrie, Pet Sematary, and The Mist, including more. This is all for It Chapter 2 before it comes out.
I'm so glad that they didn't decide to do The Fog. Because that is a terrible movie.
Oh, yeah. I watched a video recently about The Mist of why the ending isn't as bad as you should take it. And so, I don't remember where I was watching it on, but it was basically, the argument is that, early on in the movie in The Mist, Melissa McBride's character, she ends up living, at the end, you find out she ends up living even though she goes into the mist to find her daughter by herself.
Yeah.
And just because she has hope. And so at the end of the movie, when, Thomas Jane's character kills everyone, it's because he gave up hope. And so it's the whole metaphor of, even though there's mist and fog and you're uncertain where you're going to go, you have to hold on to hope because eventually the mist will fade away.
Yeah. See, I like the ending, though.
I still really like the movie. The ending's still just...
Dude, it's a hard watch, but I think it's great.
Oh, no, but still, though. Anyway, the Alamo Drafthouse doing a whole, like, month of, like, Stephen King.
Yeah, that's
or not
really
month,
cool.
but, like, summer of Stephen King. That's pretty rad. Creepshow's an awesome movie. I mean, they're all awesome movies.
Yeah.
But it's...
Even Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous. Stephen King hates that fucking movie.
I don't know,
but
man.
everyone else loves it. Because it's so bad. It's one of those that's so bad it's great.
I am just glad it's like for It 2, and then I can't wait for It 2 because that's going to be a rad ass movie.
So fucking good, dude. Oh, speaking of It 2, so I was watching this video about like it was it was one of What Culture's top 10s, and it was about small movie details you've never noticed.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they talked about It, and Pennywise is everywhere in this movie.
Oh yeah.
So like
you didn't
there's
know
a well, no, I figured like he was always like kind of
okay.
somewhere, but like this, there's small subtle hints to where it shows that it's Pennywise. Like
Yeah.
when I always forget the chubby kid's name, but when he's in the library,
We're gonna call him Chubby Kid.
yep, when he's in the library, you one of the librarians is actually Pennywise. You see her turn around and stare at him before he goes down into the cellar and stuff.
Yep.
And then there's another part where another like person in the background just turns around and starts staring at them.
Yeah.
And a cool thing, so you know the fairgrounds when the kid with the glasses comes out and says that he hates clowns.
Yeah.
The clown on stage is Pennywise.
Yeah.
But that's also played by Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know it was played by Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, the guy who plays Pennywise.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's him in regular clown makeup.
Right.
So I was like, oh my god! Like, I thought that was so cool.
So at least they're keeping with it.
Yeah, but like it just makes me like appreciate that movie so much more that he's constantly there.
Yeah.
Even if you don't see him there.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how they're gonna top that with the second movie, because the trailer for the second movie is so much better than the first trailer for the first movie. And oh god,
Pretty
I'm so
intense.
excited,
Are you still
man.
Daddy's little girl?
Girl.
I mean, we'd all get terrified if naked old lady started chasing us. I think that's what it's getting
like,
at.
extending limbs and the
Yeah,
creepy
like-
way she's walking. So
Pulling
yeah,
that Freddy Krueger scene. Yeah.
Yeah. This one I thought was kind of cool. I want to read this one as my idea.
Then go.
They let me. For the first time ever, we Toho will be stomping into the San Diego Comic-Con this year, celebrating the 65 years of Godzilla. So I think that's really freaking cool that for Godzilla's 65th birthday, they're
years, man.
Yep, that they're actually going to be going to the San Diego Comic-Con. So I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, they're also going to have
dope.
on display like the original or like a 1954 like actual figure of Godzilla.
That's cool, and they're going to have the actual suit from Godzilla 2000. The good one, people, the good one. The one that's actually called Godzilla 2000.
Yeah.
Not the blue one. And then they're going to have some Godzilla exclusive products and giveaways and fun photo opportunities. So that's cool. So if you're going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, which sadly we cannot be, because money.
Yeah. They need to
go check out this booth, especially. Yeah, I know.
Basically,
especially if you're a huge Godzilla fan.
They will be at booth 3535. Sorry.
Yep. No, that's fine. So definitely go check them out.
Yeah. So that's exciting. So in another unneeded news.
Yeah, this is unneeded news.
But we're still going to talk about it anyways because there's still a fan base for it. So the CW has gone back to the drawing board with the Lost Boys and will recast. So basically, they're eager to bring Joel Schumacher's Lost Boys to the small screen for a few years, and they've been excited to do that. But it's not coming together as they've hoped. Filming has taken place earlier this year with a plot written by Heather Mitchell and directed by Catherine Hardwicke. It's going to be a complete reshot of the whole movie, except for like two actors. They're recasting the entire cast. The two actors that they're not recasting is Madeline Ramey and Dakota Shapiro.
Yep.
Man, I'm gonna stand on my own here and say that I think it's unneeded that we're getting a Lost Boys TV series.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I also feel like of all places, the CW isn't the best place for the Lost Boys.
No, I agree.
Or like horror aspects, mostly because like.
I mean, if they're gonna bring it, they might as well put it like on Shudder or Netflix or somewhere that can go more creative. But it's just like, I feel like that. I just feel like that train's left the station, and that's a hard thing to say because I'm also the same person that's going to keep pushing for like Evil Dead and like Legacy of Kain series to come back.
Yeah,
but I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the Lost Boys missed its hype train. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll actually be good. Maybe it'll be a good series, and I'm totally just not looking at this in the right way.
It could be good, but I'm also the same way. Like I feel like if because Lost Boys was huge when we were in high school.
Yeah.
Like, that was, like, the prime time to jump on that bandwagon of, like, let's do Lost Boys stuff. But, Hollywood was too up its ass about, we need more Underworld and Twilight.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, just give us a bloody vampire movie. No, we want sparkling. Just let us have an uber bloody vampire movie like the Lost Boys. No!
Yeah.
And now they're like, maybe we should have listened to them. How about now? And everyone's like,
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like... I don't know. Maybe it'd be good. I just if it's something more in the vein of kind of like True Blood, I think it'd be good.
Yeah, not make it it can't be as intense as like the Lost Boys movie.
Well, yeah, it's on CW.
I know
they can't get away with that.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of TV series,
so probably and one of the more controversial but exciting topics. Yeah, so we'll see. Pinhead is now being resurrected in a Hellraiser TV series. The producer, Roy Lee, and Ready Player One producer, Dan Farah, are set to bring Hellraiser to the small screen for the first time, reports Deadline tonight. They've joined forces with producer/writers holders Lawrence
rights holder,
excuse me, Lawrence Cuppen and David Salzman, and Eric Gardner, who have controlled those TV rights since New World was sold in 1989. And the intention is to use the mythology established in the movie franchise and the Clive Barker novella, The Hellbound Heart, as a launchpad for a new series that could be anthology or more traditional narrative.
I think an anthology would be so much better for a Hellraiser show.
I think in things that could actually work as a TV series, I think this could actually work. Because the problem is that every time they keep trying to come out with a Hellraiser movie, they always miss the mark somehow. Like the most recent one I watched, and I was talking with Aaron about this too, is that I feel like they're trying to be too gross.
They're trying to make it too much torture porn.
Yeah, well, it's just because the opening scene in the most recent movie, and I've told you about it, is this they capture this pedophile and they write down this pedophile's sins, and they make some gross guy eat all his sins, and he regurgitates and vomits up the paper, and the vomit goes down to a trough, and these naked women eat the vomit, and then the dude gets cut up alive on a sacrificial slab podium by a dude dressed in BDSM with blades, and I'm just like you're on that hard edge of either being too gross or trying to be the edgy kid in middle school, and you need it. What was great about the first one is that it was creative with its grossness. You know what I mean? There was still an artistic
Well, then the cool thing about the first one too is that there wasn't a whole lot. You know what I mean? So what happened is when it was on screen with the grossness, it was front and center.
Yeah, it was
but they paced it out enough. You know what I mean? You had the very beginning where the dude gets all chained up and chains.
And just ripped apart.
Yeah, and then there was nothing super gross. I mean, except for him rebuilding himself. But there wasn't the hardcore chains and whips and whatnot that the Cenobites play until almost near the end.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're missing, is that they're trying to throw it too front and center instead of dialing it back just a little bit and giving you chunks.
Well, and I think a TV series would be great because then it's they can have the gory kill of the week kind of thing.
Yeah, that's why I think an anthology would be better.
Yeah, so and it would probably be better to expand on the story in that way instead of trying to fit it all, because the horror movies have definitely have a deep, rich lore, but it's trying to expand on it in an hour and a half movie.
Yeah, see, that's why I think it... could you imagine, a Hellraiser series that's more like Black Mirror? Where,
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to be Pinhead every episode. It could be a different Cenobite. They all have their own puzzles.
Yeah.
and then like at the very end, it all kind of links together in a sense.
Or like kind of expanding on that, like what if like the box gets broken and unleashes the Cenobites in throughout parts of the world, or just like a central location, and they have to like find each piece for each puzzle for each Cenobite.
Yeah, if they
except for Butterball, they just need to drop a ceiling on him. I'm still gonna hold that against the first Hellraiser movie, that every Cenobite got captured by completing a certain part of the box. Except he just like had a roof collapse on him. It was like probably one of the more gross, intimidating Cenobites. Just like went out in a Three Stooges way.
Just needed a thumb. Just
boop. Yep. That Butterball's the Kaio, the Cenobites. Drywall.
My only weakness is any wall but drywall.
So yeah, I still love that first movie.
It's good.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see how it plays out. It's gonna.
I'm just hoping it's like one of those things where we're super iffy and shit on it, and then just like Child's Play, it's actually really good.
Well, it sounds like fans are making it. So like,
yeah.
If the fans are making it, then it's going to be good, because that's usually the track record when a fan takes on a property they love.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. With that being said, that's kind of everything happening in horror. All credit goes to bloodydisgusting.com for the articles. This is where we find out the information, so we're just citing our sources here. If you want to read more about these articles or just figure out what's going on more in horror, please go over to bloodydisgusting.com. And if anyone from Bloody Disgusting is listening, we'd love to work with you. Punk Rock Horror Podcast. Reach out to you here.
Yeah. We'll do it. Yeah.
I know you guys got your own podcast, but hey, maybe we could just like
collab.
We reach out to us. We reach out to you. We'll figure it out. Love you, Bloody Disgusting. So yeah, that being said, let's go on and talk about our subjects today. So a little refresher, and also apologies. We didn't come out with a listener participation quarter for this one. We do apologize. We'll come out with one for our next episode. It's been a crazy week, so
yeah, we both had a lot of stuff come up.
Yeah, so we apologize, everyone, but we're still going to give you an awesome episode. So we're talking about Americanized remakes of foreign horror flicks. Yep. So we're going to talk about... The only way to talk about this is kind of like to talk about remakes in general. Yeah,
because so when I was doing my research before my computer decided to shit out, that was the hardest thing to find, was just like talking about just Americanized remakes of foreign films, because every time they would just... I would just find lists. I'm sure if I was able to do had more time to like actually like delve deep, it would have been different. But so we just kind of talk about remakes in general, and we'll bring up some of our favorites and unfavorites of like Americanized remakes of horror films.
Yeah. So jumping into it, the first remake that's the arguably first remake ever made is Forbidden Fruit, which is a 1921 American film drama directed by Cecil B. DeMille. It is a remake of the 1950 film The Golden Chance, which was also directed by DeMille.
Remaking his own movies.
Yeah. And so, that's kind of just the first remake in general. So the reason I want to make that statement is that even though there is a big resurgence of remakes in general, they've been around for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
As is. I mean, Ben-Hur is arguably one of the most remade movies of all time.
Well, there's Ben-Hur. Oh my God, they just came out with it with Chris Pratt and Denzel Washington. The cowboy movie. It's like,
The Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, The Magnificent Seven. That's like 5 times remade.
Yeah.
13 Assassins. That's been remade a lot. And then in horror, there are several remakes, but usually it's like foreign. That's where all our foreign remakes come in, because I know that's where it's most prominent, at least from my point of view.
No, I mean. The thing is the question is, why are remakes so popular? And it comes down to the basic thing that remakes are so popular due to the fact that Hollywood is a business, and regardless of whether we like it or not, remakes do make money.
They do. Think about it. Like the first chapter of It was one of the biggest remakes, like that most profitable remakes and most beloved.
Well, and so arguably there are cases where it doesn't make that much money, like the RoboCop remake. Didn't make near as much money as they were hoping.
It was terrible.
Well, yeah, but
you don't take RoboCop and make it PG-13, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Aladdin, it's gotten like really shitty reviews,
but it's one of the best live-action Disney movies ever. Like it's made so much money.
But it's still a remake.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, obviously, like, Disney knows that people are going to go buy to watch it.
Especially
like,
the classics of, like, Aladdin and The Lion King. Everyone's going to go fucking see that movie.
Yeah. Like, Dumbo was kind of a letdown, but a lot of people still saw it.
Really?
Yeah, I was bored.
I thought it, like, got shit on pretty good.
Oh, I
didn't
know.
even think it made money. Because I don't remember hearing anything about it the second they're like, Aladdin! Dumbo was just like, ooh.
I saw it. I was kind of bored by it.
Yeah.
It was.
Did they at least do the pink elephants part? Where he gets drunk?
Oh, they kind of do, but dude, it's 2019. They're not going to put a drunk elephant in a movie.
I know. Sadly, that's not one of the best parts.
But they kind of like allude to it when like he like goes into the ring for the first time, and like you can see the elephants dancing because there's bubbles like being blown, but it's not the full like scene.
Oh,
so well,
that's lame.
But, I mean, it's kind of good that they updated it, because I don't think anyone really I think it'd be kind of hard to get away with the Jim Crows.
Oh, yeah, that part's good.
That would burn that movie down to the ground really fast.
I don't think they were like, you know what? Who wants to see a baby elephant get shit-faced?
Yeah. So, Disney's a weird corporation. I stand by my statement. Why do they ruin everything? But,
yeah, so... One prominent reason for remakes is to make the storyline more appealing to audiences of different cultures. This is the case with the 1960 film The Magnificent Seven. It was literally right in front of our fucking face.
I know.
A remake of Akira Kurosawa's 1954 epic Seven Samurai. I'm so mad right now. This is an example of a remake that was adapted to fit a different culture. Okay. Sorry, just going on this kid. My boss is always like, my boss at the Old Folks Center. He's told me since fucking day one that I started there, Cody, if you were a meerkat, you'd probably be dead by now. This is a prime example. Because like every time I would ask him like, hey, do you know where this is? He'd be like, it's right there. And I would turn around like, God damn it.
And that's when you gotta look at it and be like, yeah. It might be behind me, but can you do the right thing as a supervisor and show me to it? Just like call him out. It's like, yeah, you can get mad at me for not looking, but what are you doing as a supervisor by not actually showing me?
Yeah, pretty much.
You're supposed to be training me to succeed. Shame on you.
Oh my god. But yeah, so Hollywood produces so many remakes because they do occasionally work. The Thing, made in 1982, elaborates on the original 1951 film The Thing from Another World. Yeah. So, okay, fun fact about The Thing, which I find really funny.
Yeah.
Is so you know how the remake, the really good one, the ending, you can't tell which one is you don't know if McCready or the black guy.
Actually, they have found out.
Oh yeah, through the game.
No, it's not through the game. Like actually, through modern technology. They find out that, what is it? Because the whole theory is like...
McCready gave him gasoline.
Well, because he can't breathe or something, like you don't see his breath. So modern technology has shown that he is actually breathing, but when they filmed it with the technology they had back then, it's so transparent that it's so subtle you can't see it that well.
So neither of them are the Thing?
I think it was either left up to, it's still up to the viewer's own imagination, or that it's just purely Kurt Russell is.
Yeah, okay, so McCready. So
I think
yeah, that's
I could be mistaken.
No, so the video game answers it.
Yeah.
So if you played the Thing video game, which is one of the very, very, very few video games adapted from a movie that's really good because it continues on after it. Yeah. In the very end, McCready, so you find the body of the black guy. I always forget his fucking name and I feel terrible about it, but you can't find his, you find his body, and then McCready is driving your helicopter at the very end when you're flying away.
Speaking of Kurt Russell, by the way.
Yep. So, yeah, McCready's actually the Thing.
Are you talking about Keith David's character?
Yeah, Keith David. I think Keith David's character.
Childs.
Yeah, it's either Childs or...
No, because isn't it Childs and McCready at the end?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, so you're talking about Knowles, I think.
No, at the very, very end.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about, where they're outside in the snow.
Yeah, and they both have a quick swig, and then it ends.
Yeah.
So the video game continues after that. Another team goes to the base.
Yeah.
And they find Keith David's character, Childs, dead. but then they find McCready, and he flies them away in a helicopter.
Yeah.
So the game pretty much says that McCready is the thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, now we know.
Yep.
Anyways, talking about so one of the prominent reasons is of horror being adapted, or even just foreign remakes being adapted for American audiences, is that we do live in a different. Obviously, we live in a more different culture compared to a lot of other parts of the world, and I do. This is where that hard line is that they obviously want to make a profit on the movie. So like a good example is The Grudge.
Yeah.
So like the original, I think it's a Japanese film. Yeah,
it is.
It's a Japanese film. The first one's called White Ghost and the Black Ghost, I think, or White Ghost and Dark Ghost. And so it's two separate like tales revolved around the same like house with The Grudge.
Yeah.
And so that one's far more terrifying, in that it's like. It's the original one, right? Ju-on, that's right. Ju-on the Grudge. And so, like, what happens during it, though, is it's more of a slow burn the entire time. And I think for an American audience in our culture, we definitely have grown up on, we need things now, we need to move faster, NASCAR, explosions, everything, boom, right? And so...
Doesn't he use the upstairs?
And so, with that being said, I think the biggest thing about that, Cody's getting all upset. I guess the point I'm trying to get at is that when we do get our remakes, they have to make them faster and much more. They need to tell the story faster, because for us American audiences, we grew up on things like Die Hard. And like
where everything's
Star Wars.
just super fast and Star Wars wasn't.
Oh, but it's more like explosions.
Yeah,
it's kind of what I'm
we
talking
definitely
about.
like the more like
the fast talking characters like Han. Mm-hmm. Is a good example. And when we're talking about
I
remakes,
guess even talking about like because seeing as how it's adapted a horror movie, look at our horror movies that they're the same. Friday the 13th is just slashing epic. Halloween, Freddy Krueger,
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, like
both versions of Dawn of the Dead arguably are faster paced than what you would see in a foreign film from back then. Mm-hmm. Just not saying that those aren't any more intense, but just saying, because I know a good argument would be brought up, be like, well, man, what about Ichi the Killer? Which, Ichi the Killer is a more fast-paced movie for being a foreign film. Yeah. But it's also far more intense. Yeah. And fucked up of a film. I don't know how we're ever going to review what subject would come up that I guess, Japanese horror films?
when we do Japanese horror films.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Ichi's a weird ride, man. It's a really weird ride. But anyways, when we're talking about when remakes don't work, it's because the remake doesn't really add anything new that would benefit the original or even benefit the remake either, or when they're just straight up just wanting to do it for money. So RoboCop again.
RoboCop, or if we want to talk about American remakes of American movies that didn't work, Psycho.
Yeah.
And it was a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah.
And it was shit.
And that's why people hate it. It didn't add anything to the story. It didn't expand on anything. Aside from it being Vince Vaughn,
Yeah. And then but when you think, and then on the opposite spectrum, when remakes work, look at the remakes of The Hills Have Eyes. Is a perfect example of American remakes of an American movie, because the original, I didn't even know there was an original Hills Have Eyes when I first saw the remake.
Yeah, 1970s.
I didn't know it was a remake, and it was good. That is a solid movie.
Yeah.
So
obviously we already mentioned it, but It obviously
is, Pet Sematary. I know it didn't get as good of reviews as It, but I still remember hearing it. It's solid.
I feel like the Pet Sematary remake went the same route of the original Pet Sematary, where it's solid, but not a lot of people saw it.
Yeah, because the biggest thing that I heard about it, the worst thing about it was that in the trailer, it showed everything.
That's why I don't watch trailers.
I know, that was the most disappointing thing, is that the trailer gives away all the twists and turns that happen in the movie, but it's
well, okay, that's not true. I don't watch trailers for big budget movies. Mm-hmm. I do watch them for indie movies, though. Yeah. So because I feel there's a better trade off on that, where the big budget is going to give away more. Except for again, credit back to A24. They're really good with their trailers too. Anyways,
but,
so
yeah,
I'm trying to go down my list here. You know, in an article even from the Houston Press wrote, while not exactly a remake, the original Star Wars borrowed liberally from Japanese filmmaker Akira Kurosawa and the classic spaghetti western A Fistful of Dollars, which is lifted almost perfectly from his samurai epic Yojimbo. Many fans have discovered Kurosawa after finding out his Japanese movies were largely responsible for the appeal of American productions they loved. So the reason I'm bringing this up is that some of the good things about remake, though, is that it gets directors discovered.
Yeah.
You know, it gets like... It gets people who have an obvious passion for the movies they're making, get them discovered, and shows that they are fans of the series. Mm-hmm. And so we have that defining line of like when it's a fan making a horror film that they love and just wanting to remake it to someone just trying to like cash in on the whole craze and make money off of it.
Yeah, like look at the Ring. The Ring is a perfect one for that because the Americanized version, everyone loves that one. I mean, I hated it at first, but...
Just that horse scene, man.
Well, for me, it was the ending. But as I got older,
yeah,
like, that's why I appreciated it a lot more. Yeah. And then, like, but then hearing the comparison, like, in the director, he said he loved the original Ringu.
Yeah.
And, like, so you could see the passion behind the first Ring.
Every time I hear Ringu, I think of Ragu.
I know, I thought the same thing when I was like...
Tomato meatball.
I was like, wait, how is the Ring a remake of pasta sauce?
That doesn't make sense. It's because it's like pasta looks like blood. Is that what you mean? Tomato sauce looks like blood.
Yeah, pretty much. But then there are like remakes that are on the fine line where they're like it separates people some who really love it. Like I like the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, and then the ones that completely hate it.
Yeah,
Aaron. But like the thing that I also like about the remakes, especially when it's done by a fan, is when they add to it, and you could see like, so a remake done wrong, in my opinion, is the new Ghostbusters movie, where they were trying because like the intention behind it, you could see where he wanted to go, and that he wanted to have like the director where wanted to go, where the cast wanted to go with it, and that they wanted to love this movie.
Yeah,
but you can also see how like it was affected by a lot of like producer meddlings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or not producer, but like the company meddling too much because the new Ghostbusters movie, the thing that harped it so much as a remake was the fact that it paid too much homage to the original. Way too much. And so like I think when you can see a director who loves the source material for the remake is when they have small hints to it.
Yeah.
And then just go their own route, like the Evil Dead remake.
Yeah.
Like, you can see the homage to the original one. I mean, shit, he even got Bruce Campbell to come back at the end and go groovy, which is fucking awesome. But you can tell he took the movie and then just went his own way.
Yeah.
And, like, was still paying small homages to the original. And that's the way I think that a remake should go. And that's why the new one did so well.
Look, it could be pandering if they're doing it too much.
Yeah, and that's how, like...
Like, you guys remember this? Remember this scene?
And that was the worst thing about the new Ghostbusters remake, is instead of making its own movie, they're like, hey, remember Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? Well, he's going to crush the new ones before he gets stabbed in the butt. It was just like, okay, cool. And then like, hey, remember Bill Murray? Well, now he hates ghosts and think they're a bunch of shit, so he's dead now. Like, stuff like that. Like, there were so many issues that they could have gotten away with.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then, well... Also, funny thing I found about remakes is like, when should it be a remake or when should it just be a continuation of the story?
Right. I mean, well, if it's a foreign one though, that's why they like. There's no way to make a continuation of a foreign horror film.
No,
for an American audience, because then you're expecting the American audience to see
watch the
original. And come on, in our society, we're not that active.
Oh no,
and that's just true. I mean, some of us are, but let's be honest here.
Who has the time to watch all of the foreign things? For the,
right. Like,
so like,
that's why they're that's why they're remaking Train to Busan, is because it did so well. You know, it did so well where it originated from, and now coming to here to the U.S., I guarantee they're going to change it up. Like,
God, I hope it's not bad.
and you know what? I don't know how they're gonna change it up, because if we're talking about pacing wise, like Train to Busan is still like fairly,
dude,
like,
it's intense.
yeah,
The whole thing. Like,
yeah,
the
definitely.
slowest part is the first like 15 minutes of the movie, and then it just hits the fan.
Yeah. And that's not too bad. Like, that's a pretty like good like momentum for a movie to like take place as it like is getting more intense throughout the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, so it fucking, yeah, man. I like, for me, it all comes down, when it comes to horror, like foreign remakes, it all comes down to like the fear factor of it, because more often than not, the Korean and Japanese ones are more terrifying.
Yeah.
And they're just like more intense with their scare scenes, and so I kind of come at it as like, is the American version just as terrifying or more? Like, kind of hold like an actual like torch to it, where it's like The Ring, coming back to that one again, is like a good example, where Dark Water, I don't know if the Americanized one is as terrifying.
One Missed Call.
Yeah, that one did not
Shudder.
that did not do well.
Neither did
Mirrors
Shudder.
did great though. Mirror, the one with Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, I think it was just for that one scene though. The chick in the bathtub.
I don't know, man. I think it's pretty rad. You know, it's fucking. Anyway, sorry. I was about to like start talking about mirrors, and I was also about to start talking about like in one of the recent like one of the sequels. Like, what's her name? Like, she's
There's a sequel to Mirrors.
Yeah, I think it's like there's like 3 movies. I think.
Really?
I think I could be wrong. I don't quote me on that to be
Fair enough.
specific.
But yeah, I don't know. I actually tend to like remakes. Like, I know like there's a lot of harp on them. Like, oh, Hollywood can't make anything like its own stuff. And to me, like, yeah, like I see that argument. But think about like, especially in horror, man. Like we have Us that came out. That was its own thing. Get Out, that wasn't a remake. Quiet Place, that wasn't a remake. Like, there's still a lot of originality once like you start seeing directors who love these horror movies and come back and like, you know what, I like the inspirations of this, but I'm gonna make my own thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Instead of flat out remaking. But then there are times that remakes work really, really well. Like It Chapter 1. Honestly, I will say Pet Sematary was really good. The Child's Play remake was done really well. But then also ones of foreign films. Ring was done really well. Get Out, or not Get Out, Let Me In was really, really good. And definitely one of the more undertoned movies, or underrated movies.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like,
So,
it's such a like I mean, the reception on that has been let down, because it deserves a lot more love.
yes, it does. And then like, plus, I mean, I would love like, I don't know, because like to me, like I would really want to see a good remake of like werewolf movie, like the werewolf, the Wolfman. Which I think the Wolfman remake is done really, really well. The one with Benicio del Toro. I've talked about it on here before, and I think it's a super, super underrated movie, and I hope I get to review it for the podcast at some point. But, like, I think that was done really well, but that's also one that divides a lot of people, because it was done in the vein... It was remade to be like the original Wolfman, in a sense of, like, the slow pacing with small outbursts of, like, action. Yeah. But then it was still slow, and that's what I think I liked about it.
There's only 2 Mirrors movies, sorry. Okay, I thought there was more. I had to figure
think
that
you're
out.
thinking of Oculus.
Probably. More likely. But no, she's in...
And another terrible... Sorry, I just had to think... The Eye with Jessica Alba. That was another terrible Japanese
Really? That
remake.
one kind of, like, has gotten more warm reception recently.
I don't know. I didn't like it.
Like, and Gothica, if I remember right, Gothica is a remake.
I think Gothica is.
Like,
yeah, I think it's also surprising to find out how many movies are actually remakes.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Everyone's like, oh, this is such an original movie. Nope, Japan did it.
Yeah.
Nope, Japan did it.
It's like that South Park episode, like, Simpsons did it.
Japan did it.
Japan did it. Like, that's usually the route that goes.
Yeah. Oh, can we bring up the worst remake ever made?
Sure.
Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a fan of Godzilla, you know what one I'm talking about.
Well, our audience is like Jurassic Park, so let's try to mix these two.
Yeah.
And then it went that well.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I will say the only good thing that came out of that movie was the TV show. The cartoon series is actually really good.
Now I gotta look up something again. Hold on. Like, this is gonna bug me, because you brought up Godzilla, and you brought up Matthew Broderick. I had to like, because I remember last time I made the claim that Matthew Broderick did kill a guy, and now like I'm second guessing about that. So I'm making sure that I'm not wrong in that.
Did he kill a guy?
Yeah, on August 5th, in 1987, while driving a rented BMW in Northern Ireland, Broderick crossed into the wrong lane and collided head-on with a Volvo driven by Anna Gallagher, age of 30, accompanied by her mother, Margaret Doherty, 63, killing both instantly.
Oh my god.
Jesus. Wow.
Jesus, dude.
I didn't know it was that bad. I mean, I knew it was bad. I just didn't know it was that bad.
Like, fuck.
Like, yeah. I felt kind of like an asshole.
Yeah.
Well,
we're so obsessed with it.
I'm sure Matthew's a good guy, right? He's made up for it, right?
I think
He hasn't gone the route of like Caitlyn Jenner, right? Should we compare both of them? I don't think we can compare both of them.
No, you can't.
Okay. I'm just gonna drop it. Godzilla sucked. Godzilla sucked.
Now it's all awkward.
That fucking I mean, that's why they tune in. At least we're authentic.
All right, Matt. What's remake you hate, remake you like? That isn't the movie you're doing on Friday.
I definitely hated One Missed Call. I really, because I did, because I still try to be someone who just watches movies despite what critics say, just to get my own opinion.
Yeah.
Especially
now.
Yeah, and I watched One Missed Call, and I couldn't do it, man. It was rough. I had to keep like, it was such a boring movie. Like it was such just like wasted potential, and I'm just like, it makes it hard for me to like understand like how the original foreign film of it is terrifying. Like just because that one is so bad.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like I can't help it, man. Like it's just and it's not like there is bad acting choices. Like there are good actors in that movie.
Yeah.
God, man, it's just so bad.
Okay.
It's just a real boring movie.
What's one you like though?
Like I want to add more to it, but like I think that's the biggest problem with that movie. Is that there's so much that does happen that it's so boring that I forget about a lot of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's just like...
and then the worst part is when you, like, don't remember why you didn't like it, and then you go back and rewatch it, and you're like, oh my god, this is why.
Yeah.
What about one you like?
I don't know, man. I have a few that I like, and I'm going back through my list because I did look up a few that I generally enjoy. But if I had to pick one, and it's not my movie review, but I should have done it for my movie review, is definitely The Uninvited. I've talked about it a little bit here and there, but I really, really, really liked The Uninvited. Talk about a movie that's not only just like psychologically like horror themed and fucked up in its own tale, but like there's a lot of great like on and off acting with Elizabeth Banks in that movie. With excuse me, I apologize. Anyways, with Elizabeth Banks, and I'm trying to think of the other names. God, I'm having it on top of my head right now. I have to look it up as well. It's Sunday, man. Fried brain. That's it. Emily Browning and Ariel Kelbel, and Elizabeth Banks. The three of them all together talking and just playing off each other, because the movie mainly surrounds the three of them. Yeah. And Emily Browning and Ariel Kelbel suspecting that Elizabeth Banks' character is a murderer and is planning to kill them just to be with their father. Yeah. If you've seen the movie, you already know the twist, but the twist in it is actually really, really good too. Like you don't see it coming at all. Although it plays small hints to it the entire time. It's a really solid remake, and the setting where it's in is beautiful, and it just like there's barely any blood in it, and for how barely little blood it is, it's terrifying in its own right, and it's a good intense movie. I liked it a lot. Yeah. So that's mine. What about you?
One that I hate was the Carrie remake.
Carrie.
When they remade Carrie with Chloe Moretz.
Oh, I thought we were doing strictly like foreign ones.
Well, I'm trying, and the only one I could say is The Eye. I hated that one. One Missed Call. I did too. Yeah, honestly, like for me, I didn't really care for a whole. I actually enjoyed most foreign remake. Oh, Shudder. I actually really did not like Shudder.
Okay.
I don't know why. There's just something about it. I didn't like it the entire time. And then remakes that I like, one that I really, really liked was Let Me In, of course.
Yeah.
Funny enough, Martyrs is a remake.
Yeah.
And that's really good. The Crazies is actually a remake.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I
Yeah.
like that one, too.
I know. It's really, really good.
Isn't that Timothy Olyphant in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him as an actor, too.
I think is actually a pretty underrated actor.
He really is.
Because I always get him mixed up with someone else. What's his name?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
Yeah, you'd have to give me a movie, man.
Mm-hmm. And my favorite remake, because they did it so well in the way they changed it. I know it's still a remake of an American Maniac.
Yep.
I did that. I reviewed that on here, and
Yeah.
the remake with Elijah Wood is so fucking good.
Yeah.
God, that's a hard movie to watch.
I gotta watch that. And fun fact, did you know Elijah Wood is actually like a big horror fan too?
Yeah, we should be besties.
Yeah, he has his own like horror podcast and like his own production company.
That's awesome.
Still listen to us. We're you're here first. You came from us first. We're Punk Rock Horror Podcast first.
Yep. Please find us, Elijah.
Also Elijah Wood. Yeah, come on, let's hang out. Let's talk about horror movies.
And the greatest remake of all time, The Wicker Man.
Oh. Oh, the scene where he's fighting the chick in like the cabin, it turns into like a kung fu movie, and he's just like, "Gah!" Like Nicolas Cage kick, the Nick kick,
and I believe that's a foreign remake.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's British.
Yeah, or no, was it? Either way,
anyways,
fucking that movie is a trip.
Yeah, but
give me your bike.
And so, but I can understand the whole like remake fatigue. Yeah. Because there's talks Saw's getting a remake already, even though Jigsaw just came out not too long ago.
Yeah.
And so like I don't know. I guess like the biggest question is like, when is it okay to remake something?
I think it's more like appealing and like palpable for like a fan to remake something than a company to remake something for like
but time period. That's what I mean. Because like I get like the fan. I would rather have like a director who is a fan of the source material to remake something like It Chapter 1.
I think it depends on how the movie was received first in its original form. So like if we take Let the Right One In, Let Me In, like I think when did because I know Let Me In came out in 2010.
Yeah.
And Let the Right One In came out in 2008. So there was they could have been working on it a year after it came out.
Yeah.
And so there's like a 2-year span. And so I think if it does really well and it's a good enough story in that vein, then I think like a good 2 to 5 years is like a very good chunk of time. 5 years being the longest.
Well, I was gonna say, because think about Train to Busan, they're remaking it now.
Yeah.
It came out in 2016, so it's only a 3 to 4 year.
When is it? And it's coming out this year, or?
I think it's next year.
So yeah, that still goes in my time frame, like 2 to 5 years.
I don't know. And then when you look at American remakes, like I feel like because a lot of people are like harping on. I think when it comes to American remakes, I think it's better when movies remade that didn't do too well, that had the potential to do really well. Like, take The Hills Have Eyes, for instance. I didn't even know that was a remake, and I've never heard anyone really talk about the original. Like, whenever I bring up Hills Have Eyes, it's always the remake. And the original one...
Yeah, there is...
Because the original one came out in 1977.
Yeah.
So there was almost like a 31-year... gap between that one and the remake.
Well, I mean, for today's day and age, I think that's the like good line is like a 2 to 5 year span.
Yeah, because like the Child's but like the thing that bugs me is when they're remaking something like, let's take Child's Play for instance.
Yeah,
they kept continuing the story of the original Child's Play with Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky.
Yeah,
that were super recent, but then they just came out with a whole entire revamp.
Yeah.
While still continuing the other story. I think that's when it's like people start getting tired of it.
Well, because then it gets confusing because no one knows what at that point you start getting confused on what the actual like original storyline is if you're new to the whole like saga.
Yeah, but then you take the Saw franchise, like everybody, like I remember when I saw that they were
Talk about
making
convoluted.
Saw. Yeah, but like take the Saw franchise, like Saw came out in 2004.
Yeah.
And so it's been 15 years since it came out, and it's been
it's
remade,
been,
and everyone's like, "Oh my god, no, it's too soon." And like, I was kind of that at first, but then I'm thinking like, well, how many remakes are within only like a year or two of each other at this point?
I'd also say there was just a lot of like Saw fatigue because they kept coming out often.
So I don't know. What I mean, I think if there's potential within a story that didn't get tapped on, I think a remake's totally fine.
Yeah.
But
sorry,
that's kind of my thing, because like they built on the story more. Like I will agree that there are some remakes that build too much. Like even though I like it, take Nightmare on Elm Street for example. I feel like they delved too much into the back history of Freddy.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people hated it. It's like I don't need to know that I could potentially sympathize with a child molester.
Yeah. Or killer or anything that's evil like that.
Like, we don't need to see that. And it was the same with the, I think, the Friday the 13th remake.
Yeah.
I think that movie's garbage. Hot garbage. And that's actually the one most people like.
I like it.
Well, I feel like because what they did is, I feel like they skimped over too much of his mom.
Yeah.
Because it takes place after his mom did all the murders.
Yeah.
And just did the flashbacks to it. And I don't know. I feel like they linked too much, like the main girl.
I think if it did well enough, they would have like touched on it in like a Fallout movie. But
well, they were trying to, but then they're just gonna remake it again, anyways.
Yeah.
See, that's when I get frustrated. Like they're remaking Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, which is supposed to come out in the next year or two. It's like, but they failed.
We'll see, man. I mean, Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween was
good.
Was well received, so maybe it'll be going the same route.
Which I find funny is like I talk to people now, and even though like I still find my people who loved it, a lot of people hate it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was like, but everyone loved it when it first came out, and I went back and rewatched it. It's good.
Yeah.
And like that's how I feel like an origin story should be. Like Rob Zombie did perfect origin story for Michael Myers.
I agree. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, yawn. So, I mean, obviously the discussion, like every other discussion we have, is going to be continuing to go on, but we are at the end of this episode. So if you want to continue on with this discussion and see where this goes, please consider going to our Patreon, and just for $2 a month, you'll get access to our bonus show, the Punk Rock Half Hour Power, where this discussion will be continuing more with Lala's perspective and a creepypasta that she's going to narrate for all y'all ghouls and gals as well. And if you want to keep up with everything we're doing and all of our latest updates, please like us and follow us on Facebook. You can search us up Punk Rock Horror Podcast, or on our Twitter at official PRHP, or
Instagram Punk Rock Horror Podcast official.
And if you want to keep up with anything that I'm doing on Instagram, get a peek into my personal life, feel free to follow me at The Undead Matt. We have merch available. We have mugs out now. Please go get yourself a Punk Rock Horror Podcast mug. There's a nice little saying on there to keep your Karens at work away from you when you're not ready to be social in the morning. So we're looking out for you on that one.
Damn it, Karen! Not everyone is a morning person.
We don't need to hear about your potato salad recipe just yet. Give us an hour. Let us finish our coffee.
Okay, I'm sad that the guys didn't give you your bagel right.
Is it? Whoa! Don't get her started on that.
I know, not enough cream cheese.
It's any Karens that listening to us and that have been in that situation. Sorry, we're making you the scapegoat on that.
Yeah. Fuck you too, Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle. God, there's a guy named Kyle. I'm like, what did I do? I'm just here punching drywall. It's not even. It's only my own drywall.
You know what? Now I gotta go home and punch it again.
No, goddamn. And again, stay tuned for the new addition to our Punk Rock Horror family, the Paranormal Princess podcast, which is coming out the tail end here of July. And again, if you want to consider supporting some indie creators and you like what we're doing, please consider following us on Patreon. And with that being said, that does it for this episode. Thank you again, ghouls and gals, for the support, and we'll talk about horror with you next time.
Bye.
Bye.